Welcome to Coins and Cash with Brittany. Today I'm going to go over 10 $1 bills that you shouldn't spend if you come across them. Up first, we have a 1999 Federal Reserve note from Richmond, graded by PCGS, a 65 PPQ. PPQ stands for Premium Paper Quality. This sold for $169 on June 20th of this past year. And if you take a look at the serial number, it is a fancy repeater, which means the first half of the serial number repeats in the second half. Up next, we have a 2009 Federal Reserve note Boston. This is graded by PMG and received the grade 67 EPQ. This sold for $264 on June 13th of this year. If you take a look at the serial number, it is a near solid sevens. It is one digit off. If this were to be a solid number sevens, it would have sold for a significantly more amount of money. We have a 1999 Federal Reserve note from Atlanta. This is graded by PCGS and a 69 PPQ. The note is 1 point away from being a perfectly printed note. This note sold for $312 on May 9th of this year. And if we take a look at the serial number, it is a partial ascending ladder. For it to be a full ascending ladder, it would need to be a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up next, we have a $100 face value pack of $1 bills from the series 1969A. The first note is not consecutive, however, notes 2 through 100 are, and all of the serial numbers contained in this pack are going to be in the 99 million range. So someone took this $100 face value pack and turned it into $336 on May 2nd of this year. Up next, we have a 1963A Federal Reserve note from Minneapolis, graded by PMG, a 65 EPQ. Now, there are two things that are really going to play into effect in the value of this note. One being that it is a low serial number. The grading companies do not recognize this to be a fancy serial number. However, collectors will pay a premium for low serial numbers. In addition to having a low serial number, it is a replacement note, and an easy way to recognize what a replacement note is at the suffix of the serial number. There typically is a letter, and this has a star, so the star is an easy way to indicate you've got a replacement note. And this sold for $480 on June 6th of this year. Here we have a 1963A Federal Reserve note from Cleveland, graded by PMG, a 64. Now, this does not have the EPQ designation, however, it still is an uncirculated condition, and this is a fancy 37 million serial number. Unlike low serial numbers, grading companies will recognize high serial numbers such as this, so it has to be in the million range. It sold for $900 on June 13th of this year. If this note were to have the EPQ designation, it would have increased the premium in this auction. Up next, we have a 2013 Federal Reserve note from Richmond, graded by PMG, a 58 EPQ. The 58 is a choice about uncirculated condition. This means that there is a fold that goes into the design. However, with the EPQ designation, means it still has all of the original paper quality. If we take a look at this serial number, it is very similar to the previous note, and this is a fancy 50 million serial number. As you can see, even though that this note is in lower condition, this note sold for $1,800 on May 23rd of this year. Next, we have a 1988A Federal Reserve note from New York. It is graded by PMG, a 64, and this note has a fancy serial number. It is solid number 2s. And this note sold for $2,280 on January 31st of this year. Our second to last note today is a 1995 Federal Reserve note of Philadelphia. This is graded by PMG, a 68 EPQ, which is 2 points away from a perfectly printed note. It is also a fancy solid number 1s. So due to the condition and the fancy serial number, this note brought $3,120 on June 20th of this year. Our final note of the day is a 1988A Webb Federal Reserve note from Atlanta. This is graded by PMG, a 67 EPQ. At the suffix of the serial number, there is a star, which, as I mentioned previously, indicates a replacement note. In addition to it being a replacement note, it is a web press note. And there are 3 things to keep an eye out for when it comes to identifying a web note. The first being George Washington's portrait. This portrait is going to be a bit more washed out. So after you've taken a look at George Washington's portrait, you'll notice that the plate position on the front of the bill is going to be on the lower right hand corner. Traditionally, there will be 2 plate positions, which would have a letter and a number. On a web press, there's only going to be a low number. The back plate number is just to the side of trust and the motto, "In God We Trust." On a traditional Federal Reserve note, it would be in the lower right hand corner. Due to the fact that this is a web press note and that it's a replacement note, it sold for $4,200 on April 26th of 2019. If you like this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.